Look, I think we were all surprised after gymnast Simone Biles withdrew from the women's all-around team final at the Tokyo Olympics due to mental health concerns. But without being in her shoes, it's tough for most of us to understand the pressure she's really feeling, right? This morning, three-time Olympic gold medal swimmer Carrie Bates joining us to share a little insight. Good morning to you, Carrie. Honored to chat with you here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Look, let's talk a little bit about that pressure. You know, that pressure that competing with the Olympics, being a pro athlete, a big athlete. I mean, she's everyone calls her the GOAT, right? Simone Biles. So, what is that pressure like for these top-tier athletes? What was it like for you?
You know, for me, I can't sit here and say I had the same pressures as someone like Simone Biles, you know, but I think every elite athlete, every professional athlete, and certainly every Olympic athlete has a different level of pressure. Simone's is a level that I think most people can't even comprehend. You know, she's went into these games as kind of the face of the Olympiad. And, you know, she's got a lot of pressures, plus a lot of trauma that she's coming with. You know, she's been through a lot in the last several years, growing up in the USAG system and also being the last competing survivor of Larry Nassar. So we can't forget all of the things that she has been through in her career leading up to Tokyo.
Can you talk a little bit about the stress that you went through? So maybe we can get some context from you, and then we can realize that Simone was at that level or even higher. But I mean, really, for you, what was that stress like?
Yeah, the pressure is tremendous. Mm-hmm. You know, not just the years and years of work that we put into the sport that nobody sees, because you only get to see us perform every 4 years. Right. So it's the culmination, really it's the celebration, but it's the culmination of years and years of hard work, competitions during those off Olympic years. For some of us, sponsorships, our livelihoods depend on sports. And then to top it all off, we want to win. Most people that go to the Olympics go with the intent and the hope of being an Olympic champion. And when the world expects you to be an Olympic champion, it only amplifies that tenfold.
Sadly, some people have to turn to substances, drinking, to deal with those struggles. Did that impact you at all?
It did. You know, I've been sober for a little under 10 years now, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I went to treatment more than once. And, you know, that's one of the reasons I work here at Hazel and Betty Ford, for the very organization that saved my life. But I really struggled post Olympic and swimming career with my mental health. And I did turn to alcohol to help me deal with that. You know, there's a pressure to be what people think that you are. And when we're not, when I wasn't that person that everyone thought I was, I numbed and checked out with alcohol because I didn't have the tools to work through that without it.
A lot of people have been saying amazing things to Simone on social media, but there's been a lot of terrible things written as well. You know, a lot of critics out there. Some of the critics will argue that, look, with those years and years of competitions, a top athlete's mind has been prepared for those most stressful moments to handle that weight on their shoulders so that they can compete and win. Do you think that's the case?
I mean, I think that there are, we all have all the years behind us of mental and physical training. There's no question about that. But we also are human beings that have a breaking point.
Right.
It appears that Simone has reached a point in her career where she had to step away and take care of her mental health. And frankly, I think it will be the greatest part of her legacy, is what she's given the world. She has told the entire world that it's okay to not be okay, and that when you're not okay, you need to take care of yourself. I mean, she has changed the world's view on mental health with one act of stepping away from performance to take care of herself. And what a gift she's given. Think of the millions of little girls that want to be Simone Biles, that have now been given permission to not have to be perfect. I mean, what a gift.
But when you're talking about athletes in different sports, there's different dangers in different sports, right? I mean, some of the Olympic sports aren't as dangerous as the other sports, right? So if your swing is off in softball or in baseball, for example, you know, you're not going to get hurt or paralyzed or potentially even die. So if your mental machinery isn't all there in gymnastics, that can end tragic, right?
super scary. You know, as a swimmer, the worst thing that can happen to me is I might jam my fingers into a wall
Right.
and break a finger. I mean, for someone like Simone Biles, and especially at the level at which she competes and performs and her technical difficulty
Yeah.
in what she does, it could be catastrophic what could happen to a young woman like her. She absolutely did the right thing for herself. You know, I say all the time that medals don't change the world.
Mm-hmm.
People change the world, and Simone Biles changed the world the other day.
Oh, you're changing the world too with the work you're doing there as well.
Thank
So
you.
we really appreciate it. All right, we got to wrap things up here, but one last thing to the athletes listening right now that might be top tier athletes, or maybe just top of their game in whatever industry they're in, but are dealing with all that stress. What advice do you have?
You know, my advice is don't let your profession or your sport define who you are as an individual, and work on that. Work on who you are away from where you're shining right now, to know that if it were taken away or if you had to walk away from it, that you're going to be okay without it. We are enough without something like sport or profession defining us.
Gold medalist Carrie Bates joining us this morning with that great final word. Really appreciate your insight, your advice, and kind of really shining a light on what Simone may be going through here. So thanks again for your time, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.